What's up guys, Liam here. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. School started. I had some videos recorded before it started, but I haven't been able to upload them for a while. Those will come out soon. But anyways, I figured I'd give a lesson on, like, etiquette and building Great Lakes freighters and build a ship. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm no expert. I'm just a kid who likes building, and being one of the, like, highest ranked lake freighter builders here, and I know that sounds very snobby to say that. I figured I'd give some hints and tips on how to build Lakers. Now this is a model I haven't shown in a video yet. Aside from now, I will do a video on it eventually, but right now I need to get a new hard drive soon. So yeah, let's just go over it. For one, how spacing is done. For Great Lakes freighters, you're gonna want to ask yourself a lot of questions during this, but one of them is size of the ship. Say you have a long ship like such. This is, going to be long, but you're going to have decent sized superstructures. However, say you have a short ship, you might have very short superstructures. Another thing is you're asking yourself, what type am I having? Am I having a package cargo carrier, an ore carrier, a cement carrier? Now, while I've only ever built one cement carrier, and I accidentally made it look like an ore carrier in the past, you're really going to want to ask yourself that question, and I can help you with understanding what you need to do. This here is an ore freighter. You can tell by the way the hatches are placed. Now, they're almost evenly spaced out. Most Great Lakes freighters will have them evenly spaced out, usually about the same size as the hatches themselves. This ship was just an outlier on that. It's just an outlier, so maybe not the best example to use, but that's one thing you're going to want to do. Another thing is about interior. Now, a lot of people here don't do interior. A lot of people who watch my videos, a lot of my friends don't do interior. But one thing you're going to want to notice is that not everything is crammed full of cabins. Well, yes, it is. There's still lots of room for windlasses or chain lockers, and even below, a ballast tank in the front. Another thing is, this isn't a perfect example of a cargo hold. Some of them will have slopes, and this also depends on whether yours is a self-unloader or not, which means it will have a gigantic boom in the stern that will reach over maybe like half the ship and then can swing over the side to unload. It'll also have a conveyor belt through the bottom of it. More things to talk about. This is the propeller here. Do not give it 3 or 2 propellers for a Great Lakes freighter. I don't think I can think of a single one that had 2 propellers. If there is, feel free to comment and correct me. I'm an amateur, but yeah, this is what the propeller should look like, almost. This isn't perfect, obviously, but you'll have the propeller, you'll have the rudder right behind it. It'll just be one propeller. Another thing is the sizing of superstructure. I went over this already, but one thing I see many people do is they will have a raised, almost aft castle. I guess you could call it that, and they'll place a superstructure on top of that, and it'll be really thin, like just crammed to the back of the ship. And that's not exactly right, because you need to have place for the engine. If a funnel is at the very back of a ship, you'd have to run the uptake casing through most of it, or most of the superstructure back here. That's why it's usually placed very far forward on the superstructure, as you can see on this model of the Henry B. Smith. Another thing, there is some cabins in the aft superstructure for the engine workers. There's also usually a space back here. It depends on what ship you're building, of which time period, of the size of this. But there is usually a gap back there. Now, there obviously are some outliers to the whole no aft castle thing, or space at the back, such as the Marshall F. Butters, or a lot of log-carrying ships. But this is just a basic idea for ore carriers. Now, bulk carriers are a different story. For this, I should probably load in my cam loops. I hesitate to do that, though. I'm just going to use this ship for now. But for package cargo carriers, like the Kamloops or the Regina, ships like that usually don't have evenly spaced cargo holds and evenly sized cargo hatches, so that's something you want to look out for. Now, another thing. The pilot house is forward, it's not in the back, and even if it was in the back, well, there is the aft docking bridge, but it's not housed by superstructure. It is out in the open. That is on, like, every lake freighter I have ever seen. The only ones that I think are an exception are modern lake freighters, which I'm not going over here. I'm going over classic ones. More is these things, these tanks. These are added on a lot of Great Lakes freighters. Not all, but a lot. Another thing, windlasses. Davits is going to depend on which ship you're building. Well, yes, these Welland davits, which were used on Titanic, were added here. At least I think they were Welland davits, despite the fact this ship was from early 1900s. There's also some that use the little swinging davits that swing in and out. So, that's a bit of what you want to do. Again, asking time period is a very good question to ask when you're making a lake freighter, because that can let you know if you want to make a ship a certain size, or a certain type, or what material, like wooden ships. For example, my Henry Chisholm. But anyways, that's a basic idea of what you want to do with lake freighters. Hopefully you guys found this informative, because a lot of people have been asking me to do tutorials on how I build my ships. But that's just for now. I'll get back to doing videos shortly, but it's kind of hard to do so. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time, hopefully soon. Sorry again, school's in the way, and peace.